We're joined now by Professor Sylvester Amoye, who is the Special Advisor to the President on Performance Monitoring and Evaluation. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you very much.
Oh, tell us about that, because I mean, looking at that road, one sees it in bad shape, and having listened to commentary from the federal government, they think, wait a minute, so what's going on about that road now?
Well, the truth of the matter is that it was in a very bad shape. 2 years ago, we just couldn't move until a team of federal government as well as Lagos state government came together to try to move trucks and tankers out of the road. We realized that we needed to do something dramatic because the problem had been there for a long time. What we did was to put the army, the police, the navy, everybody on that road, including the Lagos state task force. It cost the government of Lagos State 94 million naira to clear the road during a period of 1 week. Eventually, federal government, of course, agreed to reimburse Lagos State government, I think, the sum of 50 million out of the 94 million. So we share the cost of that operation. Now, we realized over time that the road was getting into a state of disrepair. The federal government awarded contract. If you are familiar with Oshodi-Apapa Expressway, you see from Okota Bridge up to, I think it's Coconut bus stop on Apapa Expressway has already been fixed by Julius Berger. The road to Oworoshiki has been completed 100%. The road or the side to Apapa, Tinkan, has been completed, I think, up to 90%, up to mile 2 and beyond mile 2. So a lot of work is going on, has gone on by the best civil engineering contractor in this country, Julius Berger. So we have been building that road for the last 2 years, and it is ongoing. Now, the patch that you have seen, or you just saw on the screen, is what we call library video clip. I was on that road yesterday, and I can tell you, and I challenge anybody to contradict what I'm saying, there was no single tanker on the road. The reason was that at the beginning of July this year, I got a very pathetic text message from Frank Aibogu, the publisher of Business Day newspaper, on the state of the road and the impact of the road on the businesses in that community. We had a stakeholder meeting in Lagos, in Apapa, with federal government, Lagos state government, NUPENG, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, MPA, PPPRA, Tanker Drivers Association, the what we call PTD, NATO, trailer owners, tanker owners, Ministry of Works, the contractors working on the road. We all met, and everybody agreed that the situation was unbearable. Don't forget that the road is also something that is very vital for the economy of this country because of the location of not just the tank farms, but also the ports of activities. So we did that, had the meeting.
Sorry, when did the meeting hold?
17th of July.
Of July, okay.
Exactly 17th of July. Because
this visuals we have, they were captured in July.
Yes. This meeting of ours with Lagos State government. So it's not just federal government. The Commissioner for Transportation, Lagos State, represented Lagos State at this meeting. Now, at this meeting, we said to everybody, this is the situation on the road. They saw the clip, and they agreed that something needed to be done. I asked the contractor how we could fix the situation. He said he couldn't do anything unless the tankers got out of the way. I asked PTD chairman, the Petroleum Tankers Drivers Union chairman, the division of NUPENG, I asked him, what do we do? And he said we should give them voluntarily 48 hours to get all the trailers out of the road. 48 hours. I asked Amatu, the trailer drivers union, those that pick dry cargo from Apapa, and they asked for 48 hours as well. Because unless the tankers got out of the way, we couldn't fix the road. So they agreed, and I'm pleased to tell you that tankers voluntarily got out of the way on the 19th of July. And Julius Berger moved to site immediately, and the work is ongoing. And as I sit here today, there is no single traffic because Julius Berger has done a massive remedial work pending the reconstruction of the whole stretch. I was on that road yesterday, 1 p.m. to be precise, just to make sure I have my facts ready for this program. And I can tell you that naturally there will be traffic because in any road where you're having reconstruction work, there will be traffic, but the work is ongoing and the federal government is not taking it lightly. So
what you're saying is that the visuals we're seeing
is dated.
Oh, of course. I mean, we put file. We acknowledge that when we put file on it because we do remember in that report that was the third visit of the governor to that particular road. In the first one, I believe that, he was also able to extract a promise. At least everybody had that promise on camera, them promising to leave within 1 week. I think the following weekend, he was back there again, and the tanker drivers had moved somewhat, but then they said they didn't know where to go, and they also stated their own challenges. Are you also dealing with those challenges?
Well, first of all, what the Lagos State governor didn't say was the federal government was already constructing that part of the road, that the work was ongoing, coming in from the Oshodi end.
Oh, he did? In the initial report?
Just calm down. That work has been ongoing. Now, what he also didn't say is that there were immediate plans to fix those roads. And in fact, contract was awarded. What he also didn't say is that the federal government had built a trailer park with capacity to hold temporarily 320 tankers at any point in time.
Where?
At just right opposite Tinkan Island. It's fixed. So that was not disclosed. So it's not as if federal government was just sitting down and allowing things to go bad. Work was ongoing.
That's the impression people got.
Yeah, that's absolutely, that's the impression, but that's not the reality on ground.
Is that where they are now, the tanker drivers or the tankers?
No. So the other thing is this. We tried to use force. Federal government in collaboration with Lagos State government 2 years ago, May 7 to be precise, 2012. We got them out at a heavy cost. 94 million spent in 1 week. So we realized that this was not sustainable. What we needed to do was to have an agreement with the stakeholders that will ensure self-discipline. And what we got out of it after our meeting on the 17th was a situation where 2 months, in fact it will be exactly 2 months in 2 days' time, there is still no trailer on the road. So it was a voluntary thing and it's working. We have not used one policeman to chase them. We have not used one soldier and they are gone.
Where are they now?
What they have done is to develop a call-up system that allows them to stay in Shagamu and Ogere. They park outside Lagos and only enter Lagos when they are called up to carry cargo. So they no longer wait on the road for their turn to pick cargo.
Sorry, Chamberlain, that has always been the tradition. That is why one of the members was saying to the governor of Lagos State there that the problem is with the networking system. For instance, you're called to come, and by the time you get there, they tell you there's an issue with the system, and I'm already on my way. By the time I get there, we are all stuck.
No, that's not what he said. He said that to get into the port, that when you get to the gate,
good.
If the system parks up at the gate,
is the same call-up system that leads them into the premises?
No, they're still working on the call-up system. So he wasn't referring to call-up system because there wasn't one at the time. We are just trying to set up one. In fact, we are not federal government, but the stakeholders themselves. PPPRA as a regulator is championing that cause. And as a matter of fact, MOMAN, the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, is also deeply involved. So this is purely a stakeholder thing because we realize that If we begin to tell them, go left, go right, they will resist. So we ask them to develop it themselves. And it's been done. And they voluntarily have withdrawn their tankers. Now, a lot of people have asked the question, why do we still lift petroleum products on the road with tankers? The truth of the matter is that I spoke with PPMC. They have pumping bay at Atlas Cove that will allow them to pump petroleum products through pipelines to Ibadan as well as far as Ilorin. But the tragedy of our situation is that in every 24 hours, they are not able to pump for more than 10 hours because of vandalism. Now, if you say, okay, let's wait until those pipelines are fixed, how do people in the north, in the east, elsewhere collect petroleum products? So it's a very complex situation that requires everybody's understanding. As we fix pipelines and construct new pipelines, we must recognize those challenges that we have.
Okay, let's